Hour of Sour is something that we have had for a while now. YellowJackets.
10. Before we get into YellowJackets,
Okay.
I want them to know, not the YellowJackets.
Who's them?
The girls' soccer team from 1996.
The people who are watching, why you do that, I don't know.
Or
It's a
listening.
good show. We're funny. I'm funny.
Will wants to leave the show during the show.
Not like
What's wrong with that?
permanently. Not permanently.
What a bastard.
What's wrong with that?
Fuck! The fuck is wrong with you, Phil?
Wants to, no, tell them why you want to go.
Okay, I want to go because I want to see Uncharted, and I have a website called filmgamer.com, and it's a
no.
video
The
game
real
adaptation.
insult of this is
What's-
wanting to go see the movie Uncharted.
What's the real reason you have to go tonight?
Okay, the real reason I have to go tonight is because tomorrow they open up theaters to the unvaccinated, and I'm such a paranoid person that I don't want to share a seat with the unvaccinated.
Okay.
But yet, keep in mind, I complain at every single fucking movie theater experience I've gone to, like everybody. I hear the Batman is so fucking dark that if you have a theater projector bulb that you haven't replaced, you're going to have a fucking bad time. So be prepared for that. But I want to go see Uncharted because it's a fun action-adventure movie, at least in tone and style and what it's trying to accomplish. I absolutely love the video games.
But
the people who were hired for it know what they're doing. They're professionals. Even if they're doing...
This place is Uncharted, bro. Where we go this place Uncharted.
And you know what? Mark Wahlberg is decent when it comes to, like, B-level
Hey, Tom Holland, you know that
screen.
this is Uncharted, bro?
I think it'll be okay. But, like, I think even the and I told my friend this who's unvaccinated and vaccine hesitant.
Oh, shit,
I
bro.
said,
These people are unvaccinated watching Uncharted.
I said, I do not feel comfortable sharing a movie theater with the unvaccinated. Maybe I would feel differently if I lived on my own. But I live with my father, who is old, and I live with my mother and my brother. And, you know, it's just, I don't want my actions, my selfish actions, to be held to a degree of responsibility.
Are you going nowhere from now on?
No, I've come and gone to places. I went to see Drive My Car when people were like, it was only proof of vaccination, so I went and saw that. But I've basically been held up watching movies
You
at
don't go
home
to
and playing
stores?
video
You
games.
don't grocery shop for
I
yourself?
do, but
you don't...
every one of those places are places that you are in for less than 15 minutes where the virus is not known to have spread.
It doesn't matter how long you're there.
Yes, it
Because
does,
what
Phil.
matters is the air
The
circulation.
virus is alive in that fucking supermarket, bro. You see my movie Boogie Nights?
Well,
And you're
It's
there's not a
Uncharted, bro.
It's not even you could have like named I Heart Huckabees. That was
I
like
heart
right there.
Huckabees, bro. They're unvaccinated.
David O. Russell, by the way, originally signed on for Uncharted. Mark Wahlberg, the only person.
David O.
who's
Russell
stayed-
can suck my cock. He's made one good movie.
Silver Linings Playbook.
Yeah.
The Fighter, though.
The Fighter is good, but it's good because of its actors. You put any other fucking director,
Okay.
all they got to do is tell those actors, just be yourselves.
Yeah, I
Worst
mean-
part of that movie, of course, is Marky Mark.
Not the Funky Bunch.
Fucking Marky Mark. Yo, I'm a fighter in this movie, bro.
What
Unvaccinated.
about Conan O'Brien's sister?
I love Conan O'Brien and his sister.
Yeah.
And his mom.
Anyways,
YellowJackets.
Yes. Speaking of things people hate.
You guys got me into this because you kept
I
talking
fucking
about it.
So
Love it.
this is one of those shows where you guys know I'm at the cutting edge. You know, I'm going to name drop again, filmgamer.com. I know about stuff ahead of time. I knew that Karen Kusama, who did Destroyer and The Invitation, and then also did Jennifer's Body, which I hate, and Ion Flux, which I hate. But she has a certain style to her. And I heard that she was directing the pilot of the show, and it was about a plane crash and a kind of Lord of the Flies-esque. I'm up for survival stories. I enjoy them, particularly when there's a group dynamic involved. It's what appealed to Station 11 about me and makes me those good counterpoints for discussion. But anyways, so I was super hyped about it. The night that it premiered, it was the same week as Dexter, I think, or the week after. And I told everybody to go watch it. And as usual, I recommend something to everybody that everybody else loves, and then when I watch it, I don't like it. Now, it improves beyond its first episode, that's for sure, but it was kind of, I felt the opposite end of the coin that I felt for Station 11 was this, where it doesn't improve beyond where what it sets up in the first part, and I also disliked how it was a TV series and not a mini-series. That annoyed me.
Disagree.
And I didn't like the characters. I liked the situations, but it was like watchable, but the modern day plot line did not work for me. It was just boring.
I
Didn't go anywhere.
understand that because like the modern day plotline didn't get me until later on.
It's well acted by everybody involved. Like the adult actresses are a lot better than the teenagers
Agreed.
on the
But
show.
it was just lame.
Yeah.
That's
So it's
for
like
me.
you basically have it in the flashbacks. You basically have a good premise, not as well acted.
For people who haven't watched, what is the premise?
I explained it actually at the jump. It's about
did you?
it takes place in 1996,
I didn't
and
say any of this at the jump.
it's about a team of soccer players who crash in the Canadian Rockies and are
And then
trapped
they
there for a year and a
eat
half.
each other because that's what we do.
Something like that happens, and the way that it happens, as usual, is pretty stupid and unrealistic and far-fetched. But yeah, I mean, it was an okay show, but I just hate the turns that were taken. Me and Rob can basically flip-flop our opinions from Station 11 for this because that's how I felt. And I didn't find the 1996 setting super believable. It really wasn't specific enough for me. The main plot didn't take off, and the results of how certain characters end up was stupid to me. I'll spoil it now. The main character Jackie dying because she didn't come in because she felt bad and female resentment and stuff, and she just kind of dies. Throughout the whole series, because there's not a grown-up version of her, that obviously she's dead. So there's kind of a mystery of like, ooh, what set off the chain of events of toxic female friendships that led to this? And you find out she was just left out in the cold, which is pretty stupid.
I thought it was good.
I get what it was trying to say of like friendship, neglect, blah blah blah, but it was just stupid.
I like every twist and turn.
Every single fucking person in that cabin is like, maybe we should check on this person. Everybody had a fucking sound sleep, and they all fucking wake up in the morning and, oh my god, this person that we left out in the cold is dead. What a fucking surprise. End rant.
Every twist, like almost all twists and turns, you're expecting this huge like not sci-fi but fantasy thing to happen because that's where it looks like that's what's being pushed, and then you get this like cold thing where she's left out in the cold, and I thought it was very good. Like for them to, of course, they're all upset with her. They're just going to leave her
Every
out there.
single
It
one of
seems
them.
like it's fine. I do think it's kind of odd that none of them noticed snow at all.
Yeah, the coach is not even really that upset. He's just kind of like, come on, man.
But I think it was very quaint. I think it worked.
Quaint.
I wasn't upset with it. I was actually like,
It was
at
like,
first I was
that's
like-
really nice that girl died.
At first I was like, that's it, and then I was like, actually, that's fitting because you're expecting this huge thing, and it's nice to have something that's like real.
It's difficult because I didn't care about the character Jackie at all either. So I wasn't super invested in her survival, especially knowing that she dies. But to have her die in that way, like, I get it, friendship, neglect is... But I don't even think that their relationship was even that poisonous by the end. It's like, oh, she fucks a guy at the last minute.
Oh, it was poisonous.
Yeah. And I don't think that the cult lady who, like, that should have been more of a focus. Like, I get the whole background creeping up, and when the other religious girl leaves and has an unfortunate end, that this girl rise up and magically kills a bear. That didn't even... I'll go with that. But then, like... The fact that, like...
I love how someone who's watching this who doesn't know the show is like, what?
Well, this is for people who, like, watch or generally know it.
Obviously,
and I don't like... But, so...
That's
the
why
plane
we say, watch the show, then watch our show.
The plane crashes, a certain amount of people survive. They're all women, and they're all teenagers, so they're all hormonal and whiny to each other. There's 3 guys. There's a coach, some random guy, and the random guy's brother. And the random guy's brother...
main
Or the
coach's sons.
main coach's sons.
Yeah.
Oh, right, yeah. But who's the one teacher then? Because the teacher...
He's the secondary coach.
Yeah, the secondary coach,
The gym teacher,
the coach's son and his brother all look the fucking same.
Yeah, they should have been... Well, the 2 kids, like the brothers, they can look alike. But yeah, they kind of look the same with the secondary coach, and it was like, you could have chosen a little better on that one.
Yeah. So for me, it was like how about the fact when the guy gets a fucking thing pointed to his throat and then he's just like, "Oh, I'm okay." Like, what do you think about that, Rob?
Unsurprisingly, Will is completely wrong about the opinion of the show. Clearly, neither of you have read Lord of the Flies.
And I'll
the
tell you what I
fact
have
that
read,
this
real life.
is
I don't read.
a complete female version of Lord of the Flies is, for me, what makes it very interesting.
And does that make it
My
good?
initial problem with it
I like the
was
concept.
women can never get to the barbarism of men. So you put a group of boys onto an island, a group of women will never become as barbaric as men.
Is that what you
disagree.
believe,
so-
like going in, or
No,
is,
absolutely. I
is
believe
that what you think the show
and if
says?
you read Lord of the Rings,
I've
Lord of
read
the
Lord of the
Flies,
Flies.
you
We all went to high
read
school.
that, or you determine that. What I did like about the lady who made this show, she knew that yes, women won't be able to be as barbaric as men, so there has to be something else.
So you don't think
And
that
so
they're
she
as
said,
barbaric?
you know what? It's the teenage hierarchy of women. That's going to be our end point here. This is what's going to cause them to turn.
So you don't think that's negated at all by like a grown-up Christina Ricci, like pretty much murdering them all, or like how about
No,
the fact
that
when
has
she?
nothing to do with it.
How
I'm
about
talking about when they're on the island living the Lord
Okay,
of the
when
Flies.
they're on the island
It's
and
not
young
an island, but yes.
young Christina Ricci's character destroys the flight
Black box. Yep.
Yeah, and that's not cruel at all.
So yeah,
I was going to say, was that going anywhere to prove who that character is? How
No,
that's
to
the guy
prove
goes
that
against
like
Ralph
your
in
argument
Lord
of
the
like,
Flies?
oh well, it turns out that women aren't as bad as men. It's like, I'm sorry, but she pointed like a fucking knife at the guy's throat, and then the guy was like, "Oh, I'm okay." It's just like stupid.
women on their periods all together.
Not as barbaric
Well,
as
I
men.
liked how that wasn't like
Doesn't mean
as
they
big
can't
of a
be
deal.
barbaric.
But
I'm surprised they weren't more hormonal. Honestly.
so what
We'll get there
happens
in
to
season
Jackie
2.
makes
Yeah, that's
sense.
fucking. This is a one
and
season.
what's going to
premise.
happen
Nope,
to
still
Jackie? The way season, I'm already fairly certain of how season 2 starts with
Okay.
Jackie, based on a specific plot element of Lord of the Flies.
Okay,
But,
you can relay that because we've all read Lord of
Nope,
the Flies.
I'm not gonna.
Oh, well, keep your secrets.
I will.
Frodo.
But no, I really, really enjoyed the show. It does have its shortcomings. The biggest
Like?
shortcoming of the show is rode hard and put away wet. Jesus Christ, Nat, Juliette Lewis. Oh my goodness, that girl is not an actress for me. She works well in this role, but
Which one?
Juliette Lewis, she's Nat.
I thought- what-
drug
so-
addict, old drug addict girl.
I thought Nat was
Yeah, I did
Christina
know.
Ricci.
No, Christina Ricci is
I know who you
Peggy or Becky or something.
Yeah, the blonde in the.
No,
in
Juliette Lewis is actually named Sophie.
Not in this show. She's Nat. But she.
No, it says Juliette Lewis and oh shoot, yeah,
so
you're
she,
right. Fuck.
yeah, Nat's
Yeah, my bad.
character is
Sorry.
the only bad one on the show. Only because I don't like the ex Juliette Lewis, and she seems to be the only one that's kind of sleepwalking. Melanie Linsky is fantastic.
She was like fantastic on Castle Rock. I was like, who is this woman that
Christina
I haven't
Ricci
seen?
is really, really good.
She's fine. Yeah,
But
very good.
But yeah, I'm really looking forward to where the story goes in
I
the
really
second
like-
half, because the second half of Lord of the Flies, the second act of Lord of the Flies, is where the real shit hits the fan, and so it'll be fun watching the shit hit the fan in that second season.
So you didn't think that this was like a one season?
No.
Premise?
I was thinking it was going to be that, but then when you start seeing the story unfold, especially when we have to get to the breaking of the two parties, which is what Jackie's death causes, that is where we see these two parties split. And then in the third act, which maybe will be
So
the third
who's left
season,
in the other non-cultist party then?
the other non-Carter's party will be Melanie Linsky's character, the friend, the girlfriend of
Jasmine
of,
Savoy Brown, the
yeah,
black girl.
the girl whose face is all torn apart. Her, Jackie, and other little ones, but specifically, or not Jackie. I'm sorry, I keep on forgetting her name. Melanie Linsky's character's name. Her and the girl with the ripped up face. Those two for sure have to
Shauna.
be in the Shauna. That's what it is. Those two for sure have to be in the smart party. And when they get discovered, it's Shauna who runs out and everybody sees her.
I'm just so over the premise of like the religious rising up kind of thing.
I don't see religious in this at all.
It's like nobody remembers like there were actually a group of black British boys in like the 80s who were shipwrecked in real life. Every single one of them survived. None of them killed each other, and they were all fine. But people ignore that in favor of like, oh, it's always going to be a Lord of the Flies scenario. To me, it was just kind of like, I don't think it assumes from the get-go that like, oh, that's inevitable, that it's going to devolve into this. But I feel with the characters and the ammunition of storytelling that they have there, that they could have put a lot more into that. And it's like, okay, what do they have, like 8-10 episodes, and like this felt stretched thin, just as you thought Station 11 was.
Yeah, no, this was rich and it
How about
should be a mini series. You think of it out of the gate, but then when you realize where the story's going, I'm like, okay, this could be split apart, because each season has to be like its own act of a movie or its own act of a play.
10 episodes.
Where it's got to be, okay, this second act is about splitting apart, reaching our worst spot, and then this third act is going to be absolute anarchy, and then we get away. So I'm looking forward to those. Hopefully 3 seasons. If it goes longer than
It's
3
5.
seasons,
They're pointing on 5.
If it goes longer than 3 seasons, it's going to suck. There's going to be a lot of dead space.
Yeah.
But
And
no,
this is
I
what-
enjoyed it a lot.
So
Who thought that Jackie was going to show up at the dance?
that would have been nice.
That
That would
kind
have
of
been
just all of a sudden,
that would have
yeah.
been such a great like storytelling turn, because I don't feel that this completed any story is what
No,
frustrated.
wasn't supposed to though.
Yeah,
But
it
like
was.
every season should tell its own kind of story.
I think this
it
did.
completed the Jackie story, which was just like a sub thing.
How about
whole
Misty,
thing.
Christina Ricci's character, having that one lady kidnapped, which we all know she's gonna die.
No,
And then
it's
she
funny.
died.
That kind of goes nowhere, right?
Yeah, it doesn't, and it's like the character handles it the way that you would, and it's just kind of weird. There are moments of levity. I actually like Juliette Lewis's character. It's one of the things I've liked.
I thought
Juliette Lewis in.
Melanie Linsky, she was fucking great with the deadpan delivers to her daughter, explaining what divorced fathers are like. Oh, just fucking fantastic.
I like that
She's-
dynamic too.
That actress is amazing.
She is. You should watch the very first movie she was ever in. It's called Heavenly Creatures.
I watched 2.5
It's
Men.
it's incredible.
Yeah, she was
The
cameo
only
on
thing
that,
that
right?
sucks is she never uses her real accent. She's from New Zealand, and I wish she'd use her goddamn real accent.
But you know, Elizabeth Moss, same deal, where she doesn't ever and Kate Winslet rarely uses her
Yeah.
accent, but she does, yeah. But it's like she's good at it, so it's like why bother? Like she plays that kind of like American Californian character super well.
I have
She was
a crush
I
on
never
her.
realized she's
Even
married
though I
to
feel-
Jason Ritter.
I'm
I didn't know that.
such a crush
Oh,
on
she
her.
is? Oh,
Yeah.
good for them. I really like Jason Ritter.
So do I.
Jason Ritter could have been on the show, maybe a younger version of him. But what did you guys think though about? It was like one of the characters. It was like how. I want to say his name is Tyler because I always hate the name Tyler. But like the guy who hangs himself on the crane, that goes nowhere.
I think that's got to go somewhere. There's
In season 2, you guys. So
yeah.
after investing 10 hours, you get to
What are we
figure out
doing
something.
the guy. I think his name might be Tyler. Or no, is it Lance?
Hangs
or
himself in the barn?
Yeah.
but hangs himself in the workplace workshop where he works at.
That doesn't need to go anywhere else.
I think it does go somewhere.
Because like at the end of it, it's this
Jeff,
cult
I
that they're
think.
creating.
His name
No,
is-
she keeps on calling him Ty. Oh fuck, I can't remember. But
Or it could be Ben. No, Ben is the. So
No.
is it the assistant coach that hangs himself, or is it the boy, the grown up
the grown
That's
boy.
what I thought. And his younger brother died while they were there.
I didn't think he's died.
'Cause
but
I thought
maybe
that-
I'm right.
Because my understanding is that like they showed him because they show who's dead when they say and we remember.
Yeah.
And the younger brother was there.
Oh, was he? Okay.
Yeah,
I thought the
and-
younger brother was supposed to play like one of the twins from Lord of the Flies.
Yeah, but it's like it's to me it's like let's do this but make it super drawn out. I just think I don't generally, and maybe because I'm getting older, I liked it when it was maybe The Road or The Last of Us, and even to a certain degree Station 11. So I guess I like it when it's done well. Even The Book of Eli is another one where it's like resources are scarce, but the whole like humanity devolves into a cult when the lights go out. The way that it's not handled well. Like we debated in the Station 11 part, like is Clark really a member of the cult? And you guys came up with, well, not really, because that's just how the rules of their society are.
It's also lazy
that's how
storytelling.
Yeah, and that's how I feel it should be. Because here it's kind of like, oh well, we all fucking know that the nut bar lady is gonna rise up and start doing shaman shit and stuff like that, and they're gonna depend on it because they're completely incompetent survivalists, even though they're at a cabin. Who I guess
I thought it was wide open to go anywhere. So
I think the big difference between if we're comparing this to Station 11, Station 11 has nowhere to go, and this has nowhere to go but up. Where Station 11 is like, hey, let's wander in a circle with a bunch of fucking singing Hamlet people. Whereas
they do that exact thing on the show when they do drugs at the end or drink.
YellowJackets knows where it's going to go. At least I hope knows where it's going to go in its second season.
They say they have a 5 plan, but let's be honest, this is a Showtime show. The makers of Dexter and Homeland, they are the kings of pushing a show long past the time that it's to call it quits. So that's what I see them making those same mistakes.
The only people better at doing that is AMC.
Yeah. Out of 10 YellowJackets,
I give it a good 8. I did not expect to enjoy it as much as I did, and I had a ball watching it.
There were some things well done. I give it a 4.5.
9.
Wow,
I thought it was really good.
What is it? The only thing I hate
this
about
could have
shows like
been
this is you have to wait so long for the next fucking season to come back.
TV series.
Yeah,
no,
What are
but
you gonna
modern
do?
TV series. I was watching, as I said in the other episode, X-Files, and I'm like, wow, I can't believe they did 17 episodes of this a year for 8 years. 9 years.
Oh yeah, there used to
It's
be
because
more.
they're lazy now. They just announced Euphoria is getting renewed for season 3
Euphoria.
in, let me finish,
What a shit show.
2024 is when this show is happening. again.
Remember when?
For like 8 or 10 episodes.
Even more so, there was shows. The norm was 24 episodes.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Well, season
It's
4
not-
I know of X-Files is 24 shows.
Compared to 10.
The defense is this, is that the Americans have bought into the British way of producing television. Is just like, make a good show, make it miniseries in length,
And have a bunch of them.
and it takes as long as it takes. And now because it's so competitive that it's like, okay, we'll just do this and it'll be a year and a half and then you'll watch everything and you'll be ready for it again. My thing though,
The biggest problem now too is that since corporations own studios,
yeah,
it's very okay. What sells? What are they looking at?
Yeah, not a lot of variety.
What demographics are watching what? Who's selling what? Where's our product placement? I didn't feel that in YellowJackets.
for me, Raised by Wolves is a show that I watched the
the
first
Ridley
season of.
Scott movie or Ridley Scott TV show.
Yeah.
I've been meaning to watch that.
I watched the first season. It was okay. The first episode is really good. It's not really worth watching beyond there. It's somewhat interesting, and the second season is supposed to be a bit better while falling into the same mistakes. But the second season just came out. You know when the first season premiered was in September of 2020. So like a year and a half ago. A year and a half is too long to wait for a show that's like insubstantial. Of like,
That's the
I would
biggest
have
fucking
wanted. I
problem
would.
with Better Call Saul.
I would have watched it again, but it comes back and I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah,
but Better Call Saul kind
COVID.
of deserves it because they, number one, this season is taking longer episodes, and the scale and the writing and the quality of that show is so high that it's like, it warrants it. The same as what we believe for Game of Thrones. But shows like this where it's like, even YellowJackets, I feel, they might, but they could have, like, they can do a yearly show of this. Like,
Ridley Scott fooled me once with The Last Duel, and then fooled me twice with the execrable House of Gucci. So I will not be watching any TV shows by Ridley Scott.
I mean, that's
House
fine.
of Gucci was a lesson in boredom
unless I
and
put it on
poor
my
acting. Especially, you have to watch the movie only for Jared Leto's indescribably bad accent. He sounds like Mario. He sounds.
Do you hope are you pulling for him to win the
ludicrous.
Razzie?
Oh my god! I could not believe how bad he was.
Do you know him and Ben Affleck in The Last Duel are in the same category?
They should be.
Who do you think should win?
Gotta be Jared Leto.
Yeah.
But
He goes for
Ridley
broke.
Scott used to, and it's a bummer because Ridley Scott used to be so fucking good.
He's
They
always
made
been
House of
all over
Gucci.
the place. Like Ridley Scott has always been all over the
Good point.
place.
That's a good point.
It's kind of
But
funny.
he used to be, his good was so fucking good, dude.
Oh, okay, but let me tell you this, okay? Because I love tracking this about Ridley Scott. 1979, Alien, classic. 1982, Blade Runner. I don't like it, but considered classic.
Even before Alien, though.
Then he does, like-
Or not Last Duel, Duelist.
Yeah, Duelist. That's a generally well-regarded movie. Now listen here. He goes about 8 years of making complete shit that I can't even remember. Like Somebody to Watch Over Me, I figured out is a movie that Ridley Scott made. And then 1990 he does Thelma and Louise, another well-regarded classic. Then he does the 90s of like 1492, Conquest of Paradise, G.I. Jane, like movies that
G.I. Jane.
G.I.
Jane
Jane did well.
Well, yeah.
G.I. Jane was
But he does
horrible.
and he does like 5 movies in between that nobody has ever heard of. Black Rain.
Then he does Gladiator.
Yeah,
You're like,
and then he
"Holy
does
shit.
Gladiator. Whoa, like again, big movie one.
Then he
Best
does Kingdom of
Picture.
Heaven. You're like, what?
And
then
then
he
he
does Black Hawk Down. You're like, what?
He got Best Director for Black Hawk Down.
I don't
but,
know how.
But he does stuff like
The movie's a fucking bore.
Yeah, and then he does like A Good Year. I like American Gangster,
Mhm.
but it's like he basically does one good movie a decade.
Yep.
And then last decade was The Martian.
Yeah.
It
wonderful
was solid movie.
Yep.
So it's like he's still due this year for a good movie, and I think he can
When
make
he's
it.
90.
Yeah. But like that's the thing. So it's like he's always been all over the place.
Also, Melanie Linsky has fantastic boobies, so that was another thing I liked looking at. Leather jackets. Yellow jackets.
That's what
I like seeing them in a leather jacket.
Pause.
Oh, and
I want to pause.
I
No.
hate the husband character on the
Have you noticed that your audio screwed up?
Where?
Shouldn't it be doing two, like before it was doing stereo? Was it not?
No, it's still
If
doing
I'm not
stereo. It's
correct.
done that for all the other ones too.
Are you sure?
Yep.
Because like before,
I
We
s-
only have a single input
I
going in.
saw something going through here earlier, and then it just stopped.
Oh.
And it went down.
I don't know what could
So
happen.
I'm wondering if we're gonna end up with that same audio issue because like
It's all still on USB.
oh, I
and
know it's still
core
working.
audio.
You can
Yeah.
see it up here, but
something.
Yeah, I just don't know what.
I don't know.
I am so hungry right now.
If it did, I don't notice what it did.
Okay,
It
well-
usually never moves at the bottom.
Oh, I have a request for next week's episode, by the
I
way.
don't know what then.
It's the Gotham City Pizza calzone for the Batman.
Oh, I
yeah.
thought you meant watching the
good?
show Gotham. I'm like, I am not watching the show Gotham.
I don't like. Okay, I like Little Caesars, so it's all right, but it's nothing.
Have you seen
There's
this?
better.
No.
Okay, I have to show you. I have to show
Are all of us gonna have seen Batman by
you.
next
No,
week?
because I'm not going to have seen it.
We're
Gotham.
going Saturday or Friday.
Friday at noon.
That's why I'm going to see Uncharted, so I have something to say while you guys discuss Batman. Yeah, this thing right here. Gotham City's Cape. I don't want to accept cookies, but this is what it looks like.
Oh my God!
It looks like a bat symbol.
Come on, dude. We gotta get
Like
the
it
bat.
melted.
We gotta get the bat symbol pizza.
I've had it.
No, you haven't. Batman's not out yet. You fucking liar.
I've had it.
Bullshit.
It was like a promotional leading up to it.
It's just in the calzone part, it's like garlicky
How come we're not doing
Alfredo.
that on Can You Taste My Cock?
Yeah, because he couldn't wait.
Because it was before.
He couldn't wait.
Well, then let's fucking do it next time.
What do you mean?
I don't care.
What do you mean before?
I didn't say no.
But like,
Can you
I just
taste
said I've
my
had it.
batcock.com?
I know, but it's.
I've had it like 2-3 weeks ago.
I know, but like, why didn't you bring it on? Can you taste it? Oh,
Because we had it
Philip.
as a family.
but it hadn't been.
It was
Can
in
you
the
taste
moment.
it? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I hadn't really started the Instagram of Can You Taste It, and it was just
I want to be on
Pre-
Can You Taste It,
Yeah.
eating the pizza and giving my opinion of it.
Yeah, me
I
too.
don't care. I'm not stopping you.
Okay, me and Rob are
How
gonna.
the fuck am I going to put
I'm
it on
not
if you're not over here to film it?
I'm not complaining about it. All I said was I've had it.
Yeah. So
I've had it all right.
the most successful Can You Taste It product of
Give me
all
another one of
time.
those fucking
and you mean-
Cokes.
Okay.
Oh yeah, there was.
My
Can I
tea
have
is
another?
done.
Fuck it, I'm having another one. I'm having another 4 out of 10 of something I
You
reviewed.
took Rob's. That was for Rob.
You know what?
It tastes like space.
Like
Was it? Or
space.
no, it's
I
inspired
thought you
by
said.
space.
I thought you said space AIDS.
Space AIDS.
Space age. We're gonna just keep all this.
Space
in.
AIDS.
Yeah, you're goddamn
Why
right.
not?
Where it's a
All right,
so-
what else are we talking about? We talked about.
I have a question.
Oh, fuck off.
Sean O'Brien.
You get to remake one movie, just one movie. Why are you remaking it? What is it? Why are you remaking it?
Caligula to have more pornography.
I'm remaking Law Abiding Citizen because it is a terribly executed version of a great premise.
God.
Somebody's locked up in jail and keeps killing people. What a great whodunit.
Don't you love the
I
end?
know
when,
you
like,
love
the whole fucking
Oh, when the
room
lady answers the
slowly
fuck-
catches fire. You're like, what?
That's a cool shot, and that was
What
clearly
bomb goes? Bomb.
a backdraft, I guess. But how
Instead
about
of
when the lady
boom.
answers her phone and a bullet comes out?
It's like Freddy with the fucking tongue.
Or this guy, it's like, okay, I get that he's an engineer, but he has like a space rover with a missile attached to it that's like driving in the middle of a graveyard that nobody notices.
You know what I'd remake? I'd remake E.T.
Please do.
I need
with
to
the
rewatch
original ideology, because it's supposed to be horror, right? That's what they talked about, to make it a scary movie. And then they decided, you know what? I already did kind of the scary angle with Close Encounters. I did a real scary movie with Jaws. I didn't make a family movie. I think I'd try E.T. because, and I'm sure I've said the story before, when I saw E.T. as a little kid, as soon as you see E.T. in the cornfield, when Elliot's going around...
Oh,
and
it's
he's got a
fucking
thing,
terrifying.
I ran out of the fucking theater. I bolted out of that fucking theater. I was petrified. And even now, when we watch E.T. with the boys, the one scene at the start where John Williams' score comes in and he's fucking wilding through the... I remember how scared I was.
I
when
never found
watched
E.T.
it.
cute at all, did you?
And so I would redo that.
I liked
but
it as
but
a
I'd
kid,
make it. I'd make it a horror movie.
I have it on DVD or Blu-ray, my dad does. So
Do you have that shitty redone fucking version where he changes all the guns to walkie-talkies? We have that one.
Keep in mind that it's not his age group.
He just said he had
No,
those-
it was
he
one
was-
that I watched on VHS when I was, like, it came out in 82.
He
I
came
was
after that time.
Did you ever
But
watch
me-
the one where he changed the fucking guns to walkie-talkies? Karen and I went and saw it in the theater when they re-released it.
That would have been 2002 in March.
It was so bad, dude.
I liked it as a
So-
kid, but I don't like care for it now.
But I have the
Like,
VHS version, and I still have a working VHS player.
I like that movie a lot, but it'd be neat.
Is it good?
I think it's very good. It's a
Is
very
it
good movie.
because I have a ranking because West Side Story comes out day after tomorrow of the best Spielberg movies, and
which
I was
we will be covering next week.
E.T.'s not the top, but E.T.'s good.
I wonder where I have.
I can't watch it. I think it's boring.
I always thought it was boring too, to be honest.
It's
I don't get
boring.
the hype. How was it the highest grossing movie of all time? At one?
Because it's a wonderful story about a little boy who falls in love with an alien.
Do you agree, disagree with this list? I won't spoil it, but I have Ready Player One at 9. That's
What's
all.
the list about?
Spielberg's ranking Spielberg movies.
Ready Player 9 shouldn't be on the list.
I have it at number
That
9.
should be first.
Nope. What?
Just
Ready
'cause
Player
I'm-
1?
No, 'cause I'm biased.
Jurassic
Fuck
Park.
off, Jurassic Park.
Overrated.
Dude, I was
no.
watching
That's
Dominion.
like a 3/4 of the way
Watching the
done.
trailer for Dominion, and I'm like, oh god, why can't this franchise just stop?
It was.
It's just
They should have just done
gotta
Jurassic
stop.
World. That would have been fun.
You know what? If it had ended with Jurassic World, fine. But
Yeah.
just stop.
You know what's funny? My movie that I'm choosing is Jurassic World Dominion. No, sorry, Fallen Kingdom. Yes.
What do you
Because
think
I
about?
hate the whole
Clone
second half. I just get rid of that. Make it all on the island, or have them take it to another park. You know the concept park, which was like a small
yep.
zoo. Like do that.
That would be cool.
Which is what I think is happening in.
I just, dude,
What do you
I
guys
am,
think
I
of my
am,
bottom ones?
I am
Dominion.
Chris Pratted the fuck out. I am
A lot of people
tired
are.
of
He's
this
Mario.
guy. Tired of that guy.
Do you think the BFG
Is one of his worst.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
his worst, but one
What
of
about
his
the
worst.
Post? I don't like it.
It's fine.
Unfortunately,
AI.
for Chris Pratt, his stardom right now and being in everything is gonna kill his career.
I love how people say being in
I
everything.
think-
he hasn't fucking been in anything. He
I
was in
think
Guardians.
No,
and then
I think this
that
next
was it.
Jurassic Park movie
That
and
scared me, by the way.
combined with his social media, and I don't dick about social media except for what my wives tell me.
When I told my
Yeah.
dad what he said on
Yeah.
social media, he was
I
like,
think-
"Oh my
I
god!"
think that's him going down. I
He
think
was
he's
like,
done.
"Oh my god, did you hear
No,
that?"
I don't know what
He
you're
was
talking
talking about a response to like a tragedy, and he's like, "And I woke up and I put on my Christian rock playlist, and it's like, is this a joke?" And
What?
it's like, "Yeah, no." He's like, "I woke up and I put on my Christian rock playlist, and I."
But he is. Well, he was great as Andy Dwyer. He was great, and then you watch him as Peter Quill in the first movie. You're like,
He's great.
He's fun.
and he's
and
even
then
fine
he-
in Jurassic World.
when he's starting to believe the hype about himself, you're
Yeah,
like,
but I don't
oh
want that.
no, this is.
Do you
starting
think?
to
I don't
happen."
think he believes the hype.
Oh, he is so bought into it. By Jurassic Park 2,
If you
he's
were-
just mugging for the
If you were
camera.
getting that money, you would go with
For
it.
fucking, he is one of the worst parts of Infinity War, which is a fantastic movie. But as soon as fucking Star-Lord shows up, I'm like, all right, just
Yeah,
good.
I
Just
agree.
get past this.
I mean,
So yours is fucking Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom. What would
Totally.
you replace the end with, or you just make it all the island?
You could. There's two ways of going. Go with what happened, but instead of a mansion, you have it as the zoo park.
Why would you
like
mix
a tight
Jurassic Park and Resident Evil? So you have the mansion, but there's a bunch of fucking zombies.
No.
Man, fuck off.
Jurassic World,
Jurassic Evil.
Zombie Apocalypse X. I don't know.
Resident Park.
We will.
All right, what about you? What are you going to remake?
I said Law Abiding Citizen.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry.
It's the greatest missed opportunity in all of filmmaking.
Also, there's nothing worse than fucking Gerard Butler with an American accent.
To me,
It's awful.
the greatest sin of that movie is in the casting, where clearly Jamie Foxx. But it's like they wanted. It's like they wanted to avoid being racial. It's like, well, Jamie Foxx is black, so he can't be in prison.
Yep.
And then it's like, and Gerard Butler, who was a week away from being a lawyer in real life, he was called to the bar of University of Miami. He was doing an internship. He was a week away from being certified, and he was going to be a terrible lawyer, but he was going to be a lawyer.
Can you imagine him as a lawyer?
Yeah, he went to law school.
Yes,
He went to law school. So it's like he went to law school, was on the process of like, he was like a week away from becoming a lawyer in his own word. Before he dropped out.
For hating Zack Snyder, I sure quote a lot of his fucking movies.
Well, it's just because they're repeated ad nauseum, and he's good. Like, Zack Snyder is a music video director. He's the king of that one line of the movie moment, okay? None of them string together well, but he can make a moment. I was watching 300 on TV. I'm like, this movie's good.
It's a good comic. It's funny how much you realize, holy shit, that guy ripped off that fucking comic. And I know that's what he wanted to do. He just wanted to do the comic in movie form, but holy fuck, it is exactly the comic in movie form.
Well, I have a question.
Oh, for fuck's sakes.
What movies have a cult or huge following that you just don't understand or don't agree with?
I'm sure you know the answer for me to this one, Philip. It starts with Justice and ends with League. And additional Snyder cut.
Does it have a cult following?
Snyder. What are you talking about? The Snyder cut shit is the definition of fucking
I
cult
don't see
following.
anybody talking
The
about
reason
it.
Those
it's not-
stupid
because it's
fucks
not-
that like that are the definition of
So-
an idiot cult following.
So here's the argument, is that a cult is usually a small branch of belief. Say what you will about Justice League, it was a bomb, but it made $230
I'm
million.
talking about the Snyder cut.
$600 million. Yeah,
They're a cult
But let's-
of dipshits that have no idea what
but
a
it was
film
still
is.
watched by millions of people. The
Yep.
the idea is that it was popular enough that it's like, it's just like everybody likes
A
dumb
small
movies.
group of people demanded that it happen. So
How
Warner Brothers said,
small?
"Fine, let's waste $20 million on this
70
garbage."
million.
Okay, let's
70
be
million.
honest. The process leading up to that movie was the cult following.
Yes,
What do you
The
mean?
movie
Yeah.
afterwards,
idiots that demanded it.
the popularity of the movie was not, because there is no one talks about it.
Good
after.
point. Good point.
I hear people
Very
talking
good
about it
point.
on Twitter every week, and I kind of find it.
They're the
Does-
same
is it-
idiots that wanted it to happen.
Well,
I
it's
don't read
weird to
Twitter.
me. No, to me, it's like the converts, which is weird. Is that like it was strictly for the fans only affair? It's 70% on Rotten Tomatoes, and people are like, "Wow, you know what? In an age of cynical studio commercialism, it turns out that spending $70 million on a movie to make for one director to make a bullshit vision is so noble that I have to say that
noble.
this 6-hour exercise is a good movie." And it's like those people who like somehow were skeptical and then won over. I don't buy that.
I don't understand at all the people who like his vision. That's a group I will never get behind because, one, I like good movie making, and that is not good movie making.
To me, it's just like the script fails him every time.
Every
and
part of it fucking fails.
To me, it's just the script.
Every part of it.
I had so much fun watching the 4 hours. I think it was 6 hours.
The first 4 of the 6 hours are good, and then
I
it
will
drags.
never watch any of it because it's all dreck.
Or the first 4 of 6 parts.
Mine is The Thing,
You're a madman.
the original.
You're a
Because
mad person.
I haven't
Yeah.
watched the second one or the remake. Because
Prequel
I
with
think
the same name. Is
it was
confusing.
good for its time, but
I kind of agree with that.
You're a
To
crazy
me,
person.
this is what I will say about the thing, because the thing to me
it was an attack on Rome.
is a no. I like the thing.
Rob, what's that thing?
To me, it's a B movie done correctly. Like, but to me, it's kind of weird, and I think because a certain age group is like getting older, that somehow people are now falsely projecting it as some kind of masterpiece theater filmmaking.
Which is the,
That's the next level that people are trying to put it. Oh, the untouchable classic. Like, it's a fun, awesome action horror movie, like in my opinion.
Definition of a cult movie.
And
right
there's
there.
and it didn't do well in theaters. Came out the same. It's funny. Came out the same day as Blade Runner. They both bombed, which tells you that splintering minority groups of obsessed male geeks do not represent the tastes of the many.
Oh, they've learned that pretty much.
I don't
You'll
think
see
they
a
have
lot
learned.
Well, how many times do you see sci-fi movies or whatever come out together at the same time? You don't. You get like weeks or 2 weeks. They try to.
I
pace them
mean,
apart.
we had Spider-Man: No Way Home, Nightmare Alley, Kingsman.
What was Nightmare Alley?
Because
All come
Guillermo
at
del
the
Toro
same.
one with
Yeah.
Bradley Cooper.
This is the conversation that's
No
being
idea.
had around
You
that
know what
movie.
I hate the Thing.
But that's
I
the-
fucking love Station
but-
One.
Yeah,
But that's
I
the
didn't
thing
say
about-
I hate it. I did not say I hate the thing. It's not that great.
Is it the fans?
It's good. It's good for the time, but I thought there was a lot of issues with it. It was lame.
How
it
about
was boring.
the punching sound effects when he goes to punch the guy,
There was
and you
so
hear
many
the
problems.
like the friggin' gun smoke style of sound effects of like, psh, and it's so funny. It's just basically similar to my compliments of No Exit, because that's heavily Carpenter inspired. And references to Assault on Precinct 13, another Carpenter movie. The Thing is just a good premise. There's an alien, we can't see or know where he looks like, and men are dropping like flies. So that is such a impossible to do wrong premise of like
I
men
get so
dropping like
tired
flies.
of saying Will's completely wrong.
You don't,
It's a dick thing to say, but it's fun to say Will's
Whatever.
completely wrong.
I mean, but you don't think that like it's always the slasher premise of like there's a group of people, they're all dying.
The thing is a lesson
Eminently
in,
watchable.
a
There's
lesson in
nothing wrong with
paranoia.
a slasher.
There's a clear goal: survive and kill the bad guy,
Yeah.
and there's a passage of time. All you have to do to advance the story is kill another person. And I love seeing people being killed in horror movies on screen. It's fun.
No, with The Thing, what makes The Thing such a good movie is it's a lesson in paranoia, unlike any other movie
lesson.
has ever gotten to,
What's the
to be
lesson?
that good. Paranoia. You should
That's
be
not a
paranoid of
lesson.
everyone.
That's just
You should be afraid of everyone.
and you're criticizing me for going to see Uncharted because I'm too paranoid about sharing the theater with unvaccinated
That's a good
people who
point.
could be the
Good
thing.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah, they might swallow me whole, give me the virus, whatever it is.
I remember that there was a video game of
Yeah.
The Thing. Remember?
And it's canon.
Yeah, and your character, if you got more nervous, like the screen would get jittery and shit. It was so fucking weird. It was fun to play, man.
And then Amnesia ended up doing that. And it's
Yeah.
funny because my understanding about The Thing after it ends is really kind of dark. I love it how it ends perfectly.
Mhm.
But it's like, I guess the canon premise is that the fire dies down and they just both die.
Yep.
And then there's the fan theory, which doesn't really hold water, of like he's drinking gasoline or some bullshit, and he knows that's just like some.
If you look for the earring's not there, and all that bullshit.
That's what they do. That's something that they take brilliantly in the prequel / remake.
Yep.
and-
His earring, Joel Edgerton's earring.
Yeah, and which is weird to me because they show him like I wish that if they did it, they have him like scream like an alien at the end. If they took that out and he just burned alive.
But don't you wish more movies would have like those open concept endings where you had to figure out?
It depends.
I always prefer that.
To me, it always has to be earned. Like a lot of people complain about with Inception.
Oh, I love that ending.
Where it, but then the question becomes, oh, is it real or it's not, rather than, oh, isn't this a good movie? It's
I
like what
remember-
Christopher Nolan does, where he's like, oh, think about this.
I remember the
it's
ending
not,
of,
it's a lazy ending.
The ending of Patriot Games, Patriot Games was my first example of the
Haven't
open
seen it.
ending, where Ann Archer is pregnant and she gets a call from the doctor, and the doctor is on the. She goes, really? Oh, you know the sex of the baby, okay? And she's looking at her husband, who's Harrison Ford, and their daughter, played by some kid, and they're both just looking at her, and she goes, thank you, and she hangs up the phone. And those Harrison Ford and the daughter are looking at the mother, and then she just smiles up. Then the movie ends. And I was watching it with my buddy Neil, and the audience, he was like, what the fuck? It's a boy, and they call him Jack Judy. He started freaking the fuck out. And I'm like, dude, it's so much more fun to see who knows what the fucking kid's gonna be. You don't need to know.
So can you explain that to me as somebody who hasn't seen Patriot Games?
Oh, so his wife is pregnant in the
Yeah.
movie?
And they don't know the sex.
They don't know the sex. They're planning to learn it. They decide they're not going to learn it, but then, action, what if he was to ever die, blah, 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 blah. Oh, you got in. and they were
More gas.
decided. So she decided to figure out the sex, and it ends with her getting the sex and then hanging up the phone, and then the camera looking at her like she's about to tell him, and then they cut it. Then they end the movie. So you never find. It has nothing to do with the overall story.
What do you not find out? What does
The sex of the baby.
Because that's important.
But why is it so? Because they put in.
Because it was in the book. In the book.
Because Patriot game.
Yeah, they tell you that it was a boy, and they call him
the
Jack Jr.
the real Patriot Games was the sex of the baby all along.
Right?
Is it better than Clear and Present Danger?
Yes.
Okay. Do I watch Clear and Present Danger first
It's up to
chronologically?
you. I think Patriot Games comes first. I think technically, if you were going in order, you have to watch that terrible series with.
I did watch it.
Jim.
I
and then
did
you
watch
have to
it.
watch
The first
Sum of All Fears, and then you need to watch Hunter Red October.
Don't you watch Without Remorse? Technically.
I don't know which. With the expert of it is my friend Neil. He's a Tom Clancy, Jack Ryan fucking go-to guy.
Some of them.
Did you know that
Tom-
the series eventually gets to the point where Jack Ryan becomes a president of the United States?
Yeah, I love
That's
that.
fucked.
No, but I love that though, as like an idea of like knowing like that they keep advancing the plot to like only a ridiculous way an ongoing series could, because it's like the same thing. The Alex Cross books are the same, where it starts.
Oh
out
yeah,
in
I read 2 of those books. I was like, James Patterson is he's a very Dean Koontz writer. It feels very.
I don't know what that
pedestrian.
means.
Dean Koontz is the bargain bin Stephen King.
Okay.
And it feels very boring.
Does that mean Joe Hill is above or below that one?
I don't know. I think the only Joe Hill book that I've
Oh,
started was that one that he wrote with his dad. I think it was called Sleeping Beauties, but I haven't finished it.
Oh, so.
But yeah, the thing is that's my favorite thing. It's a lesson in paranoia. It's a lesson in really good filmmaking.
It's your brain.
It's your brain. What do you
It's
mean?
your brain.
Oh yeah, yeah. My
I
favorite
hate
part,
everyone.
I went and saw. They had for one night only. They had a 4K transfer of the thing playing at the Bell Lightbox. So I went and watched it, and they warned us at the start. They were like, there was some water damage to the first part of it, so be ready for that. And so we're watching it. It's on all that Antarctica and the snow, and it's all kind of yellow. We were like, look, it's all piss all over Antarctica. It was.
They've been there for a long time.
It was fun.
Okay, so explain to me the why people like The Big Lebowski.
Because it played a lot on TV.
You know what? The Big Lebowski is a very typical Coen Brothers movie. It takes itself that fine. It
Begins in the middle, starts in the middle, goes nowhere.
and it's one of their what's the right word? It rides the fine line of being silly, but not going full tilt silly. And then it's got some parts in it where you're like, this is a bit too over the line. Like when when John Goodman starts beating the shit out of the car.
Yeah.
When
John
fucking Steve
Goodman,
Buscemi has a heart attack and dies, and they throw his ashes and it fucking sprays back. Like it's a little darkly humorous. It's not as dark as their other stuff, and it's not my favorite Coen movie, but it's got the right attitude. I enjoy it, not as much as their other movies, but I do enjoy Big Lebowski. But it's not my favorite.
Well, it's time for me to, I guess, go into uncharted territory.
Ha!
And we're close to the end for me anyways, so
You're gonna die soon. So
hopefully I don't die when I go to the theater. Which is really weird because I made that same joke to my mom the night I was going out for theater, so I'm
Go
kind
see
of...
Uncharted, bro.
So now I'm like fucking scared to go see this movie just because I feel like I jinxed myself.
You know what's gonna
so
really
bad.
suck is if the movie's a piece of shit.
We
And
should-
you're
No,
like, God,
'cause-
I went and got COVID for this.
we should all go and just breathe on him the whole time.
Do you guys want to go to see it with me
I'm
right
not
now?
gonna go see Uncharted.
I think it'd be hilarious. Because my thing is this. I think that the movie is going to be, like, bad, but, number one, I don't have to pay for it. I have remaining gift cards. And that I need to use because I'm not going to the theater again. And then the second thing is that I know it's going to be not great written in generic, but it's
It'll
an
be fun.
action movie with a
It'll
good
be fun.
ending.
That'll be fun.
The end premise of them taking the ships out on the anchors. Have you seen that on the commercial? It's like, how are we going to get this treasure out of here? And they helicopter lift a giant sailor ship out, 2 of them, and
But
then the
it's-
ending fight scene is them swinging between the
Why
ships.
It's gonna be
don't
like-
spoil yourself this
It's
much.
gonna be like that Hobbs and Fast and Hobbs and
Yeah, I hated
Shaw
that.
That's gonna be
thing,
worse
whatever it
than
was
that.
called. stupid fun,
I like
but I
that.
was enjoying myself.
Yeah. Except I saw Hobbs and Shaw in theaters and it was super long.
Hobbs and Shaw.
But this movie is going to be shorter than that, so it will definitely be
It's
better.
going to be 24 minutes and 5
And
seconds.
the whole thing's
Anyway.
we're on China, bro.
Boom.
All right, goodbye, everybody.
Yeah.